Hi guys, I was just doing a bit of testing on some mods and packs for vehicles for RG, just to kind of get some hands-on experience really about what these vehicles are and how they work, how they might be able to integrate within RG, and how they work with our current mod packs as well. And I thought while I was doing it, I may as well record it as well, so everyone can have a look. So really, this is just really for me to kind of get a first look at some of these packs. I know there's been a lot of suggestions in the add-ons forum, so just want to have a quick look at some of these models and what they're about really. So the three I'm going to look at is Red Hammer Studios Escalation. And first thing to say is there is so many vehicles in this pack. I mean, just so many vehicles. And what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to look at the Blue 4 stuff. So this is stuff that we may be using in the field. I'm going to leave the Russian and the other bits and pieces probably for another video, because there's just endless things. It's not a bad thing, lots of variety, but I'm just going to go through this side. I'm also going to have a look at these little puppies at the end there. These are the BAF vehicles from 3 Commando Brigade. Quite cool looking things. And then the MRAP MaxxPros by Richards.D and Associates. So we're going to have a quick look at those as well. Just kind of test these out, see what they've got. So to start off with, this are the Escalation packs. These here are the M1025 unarmed. This is the US Army version of it. And first thing to note is it's such a cool looking model. Someone has, clearly spent a lot of time on this. It looks great, and lots of little functioning bits and pieces. Very nice. All these vehicles, like this M1025, they all come in different skins as well. It's half the reason why there's so many vehicles in this pack. This is the US Marine Corps version, which is almost identical in modelling. It's got a slightly different skin. Has got the snorkel at the back, so it is just a tiny bit of a different model, and the longer air breather up the top here as well. And then this is the Woodland Camo version, which I believe model wise is identical to the very first model, just a different skin on it. Still looks very cool. Like a nice meaty thing. And then the Woodland with the snorkel, which again is kind of a US Marine Corps Woodland version. And all the vehicles in the Escalation pack are kind of the same, so it's the same with the infantry fighting vehicles and the APCs. They all come in different schemes, different camos, so you've all got like a woodland and a desert option. So plenty of variety, plenty of scope to use in different missions as well, whether it's a desert or a woodland mission. There's plenty of scope to use whichever version we like really. So I'm moving on to some of the other cars. This is the M998. This is the 2D half version. So it's got a cab up here for 2 people. Then space in the back as well. It's very cool. It's also got firing from vehicles, which is pretty cool. So you can sit in the back here and fire out. Yeah, looks pretty swanky. And then this is the 2D open. This is pretty much the same version, just with the open top here. Nice for sunny days like today. Pretty cool. And then this is the 4D version. So this is the one that has 4 enclosed compartments and then a little bit of space. And I believe you can still get in the back of these. Yeah, you can still get in the back, still do a bit of firing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's some pretty cool sound effects. Very nice. So yeah, so these are the cars. These are like the little Humvees, little Humvee transports. These bigger ones, these slightly bigger ones, they will actually fit 6 people in it. So you can actually get a fire team in these. They're a little bit open, especially these. I mean, that is a soft vehicle, right? That's probably a bit dangerous. But still, it could be a lot of fun having 6 people in here. You can firing from vehicles. It will take a full fire team. These are pretty cool little vehicles. So the next thing we've got is this, which is the M113A3, which is it's basically an APC. And I have to say, this is actually, I think, one of my most favourite vehicles so far. I'd say top 3. It's such a cool looking thing. Yeah, very, very cool looking thing. And we'll pop in the back and have a quick look. So loads of space in the back. I think it can probably take it like either 10 or 11 here. It's got a gunner spot as well, plus the driver. So there's loads of space. I think at the moment you could probably fit 2 full fire teams in here. If we used oversized squads, then this might be a good option for getting about, especially in some hostile territory. Let's pop into the driver's seat. It's got very, very limited view in the driver's seat, but one thing it does have is this rather awesome turnout ability. And these things are so much fun to drive. And surprisingly quick. I've had this up to 50, 55 kilometers an hour. Really nice for getting about. And then turn back in. It's also got a top-mounted gunner spot. It's a commander's seat up here, and what it is a 12.7mm cannon. You're a little bit exposed, but pretty cool. It's such a nice noise as well. So yes, I very much like these. Pretty cool little things. Pop back to the driver's seat. Turn out so I can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah, very manoeuvrable. I've got high hopes for these. I would love to see these in our missions, rolling around, getting us from A to B. Very, very cool. And Alive does recognise it, so it's got all the spare tracks in there as well, so you've got all the repair options and all the rest of it for Alive. Very cool things, very nice. Next we have got this, which is the M6A2. This is the AA vehicle. This is the new Escalation AA vehicle. Sorry about that, small technical hitch with armour, such as armour I guess. But this is the new AA from the Escalation pack. This is the M6A2 AA. It's pretty cool. Dedicated anti-aircraft. Might be nice to use if we have, maybe not got a close air patrol and we're more of a mechanised. This could be kind of cool. Again, it has got some space in the back. Let's pop in the back here. So I think it can take about 6 in the back. So you can still take a fire team at the moment around. Again, it looks so good. The model, someone spent a lot of time looking at this little bits and pieces of detail. Very, very cool. And then, it carries a few weapons with it as well. In fact, I might just grab that. A couple of those. So we've got a commander seat, and then a gunner seat as well. Now the gunner seat has got access to a few pretty cool guns. So you've got the 25mm M242. It's a pretty meaty gun. Then you've got the 7.62 M240. It's a fairly standard 240. Pretty cool. And lastly, you've got the FIM-92F, the Stinger missiles. Bit of anti-air. Yeah. Bit of a beast. And this one has actually got a bit of a better view inside. It also looks pretty cool, but again, you've got this excellent turnout on all these vehicles. I love this turnout. I know that you can, have third-person view as a driver, but I don't know. If I was driving, I'd probably stay in this view. I love it. It's great. I'll turn that engine off because otherwise it will drive me nuts. This is the new artillery piece. I'm not quite sure how much use we'll get out of this, but it's still pretty cool. So yeah, this is an M109A6. It's got 150mm HE shells, but it's also got all the other kind of stuff that comes with these cool vehicles. So it's got the guided, laser guided, the cluster mines, the AT mines, and all the rest of it. So lots of options. Perhaps we'll be able to get this into one of our missions. It would be nice. To see pieces of artillery like this in our missions, and it's it looks pretty cool. I like it. Very nice. So this here, this again is another very cool vehicle. It's another M1025. This is the completely open one. And this one here you can actually fire from any side. It's got plenty of firing options as well. Okay, so 6 people, 1 driver, but actually the other 5 can all fire out the vehicle. So it's a light vehicle, but it's quick, very nippy, and might be kind of cool to use as well. So another good thing to point out actually is that these vehicles they all they go in well with the alive stuff. So not sure if I've turned it on. You have, so I can drag these boxes. And I can actually load them onto the truck as well. I think this will really help with our logistics as well. So a small team can load up a box or two, and we can take it some logistics around with us. I think this is pretty cool. These small vehicles, they take 1 box. The bigger vehicles take more boxes, and the trucks, you can load a ton of boxes on there. Just have a little check. Unload. There it is. My basic weapons all loaded in there. Pretty cool. They've got basic ammo. With the boxes we currently use, they do fit in, but they look a bit stupid. So seeing this massive crate disappearing into a little Humvee looks a bit daft. And also because they're so big, they're a little bit buggy when you get them out as well, and they can damage the vehicle. So that is something we'd have to look at. I'm not quite sure how we would overcome that. Whether we would use big boxes for talent to airlift, and perhaps have some little boxes with just some ammo that we could take around with us. That might be an option. That might be kind of cool to do. So yeah, something to have a think about. So get in and have a little drive. Get out, and then I can just unload my box, unload the basic weapons. This is cool, so we can we can set up little ammo points just with a bit of extra ammo, more sustainability I think for the fire teams when they're out and about, and they can be a little more self-sufficient. It might open up some more options for mission builders to have fire teams out slightly more on a limb than they are now. I don't know, I guess it's a command decision, that one really, but still pretty cool. They've also all these vehicles, they've still got the inventory as well, so you can still pop bits and pieces in here if you want to, or take them out. So yeah, very cool, nice little things. So we'll move on to the again, these are small vehicles. These are the M1025s, but these are the armed versions. So this is the M2 with the top-mounted machine gun. And we'll pop in right in the back. Again, I gotta love these modelling. This attention to detail. Very cool. And all of them have got access to this gunner seat as well. So if we pop to the gunner seat, what we'll see, the first thing to notice is we do get an error. This is an error to do with the alive. This is the crew info. So when you get in, it's the little thing that displays on the right hand side with who's in the vehicle. And clearly it doesn't seem to like this gunner seat. All the other seats are absolutely fine, but when you go to this gunner seat, it doesn't seem to recognise it as a position, and it throws a bit of a fit, and it gives you an error message. It only gives you an error message once as well, so I don't think it's a huge issue, but it's something that perhaps we can have a look at and see. I suspect with Alive being such a huge mod and this Escalation pack being a huge mod as well, I'm pretty sure this is going to get fixed at some point anyway. But yeah, so we've got top mounted the 12.7mm M2 machine gun. And you wouldn't want to be in front of that. Very nice, very nice. Gives this little vehicle a bit of punch. And if we go onto the outside, it just sounds so meaty. Yeah. And I think I could probably fire that all day long. I would definitely love to use one of these in battle. It's just, yeah, awesome. Very nice. So that is the M2 version, and then next to it, this is the Mark 19 version. So this is the one that has the GMG on top. A little ride in the back. The gunner spot. Nice. Love it. Love the sounds. Very cool. And the ones from very far away also sound amazing when they finally land. Epic. Very cool. So yeah, that's the Mark 19 version, the GMG. I have to say, I'm not a big fan of GMG in missions. I think they're a little bit too powerful. So yeah, I don't. God, it sounds like thunder. That's amazing. So yeah, so I'm not too sure about the GMG versions. It's a nice model again. It's pretty cool. It has some great sound effects. But yeah, like I say, in missions, Sunday operations, I'm not a big fan of GMGs. So we'll move on anyway. Let's move on to the tanks, the heavy armor. Very, very cool things. Again, someone spent a lot of time on these, and I love the little barrel, little sort of names on the barrels. And these change as well, so every different tank has different ones, and if you reload the same tank, it'll actually have a different name on it. So very nice. So this is the M1A1. This is the AIM Tusk 1 version. It's quite nice. This is the M1A2 SEP version 1, and this is the M1A1. This is the FEP version. I would dearly love to see some of these in our missions, but we'll jump in and I'll show you such powerful units. How we would use them, I'm not sure. Perhaps if we do run without a dedicated close air patrol or any dedicated close air support for a mission, then perhaps we can use one of these as our our anti-tank, anti-armor capabilities instead. And let's just jump into the driver. And even on turnout on these, the field of view is quite limited, so you would definitely need to use these with commanders. Let's just park it here, turn in, have a quick look at the gunner to start off with. Let's park it over there somewhere. So we've got the 120mm main cannon. It's an absolute beast. As well as that, you've got the centre-mounted 12.7mm M2. Again, this is controlled by the main gunner. And the main gunner also has a 7.6mm M240, just in case you wanted, I don't know, shoot someone with a slightly different caliber of weapon. Why not have an M240 in there as well? Very nice. So the gunner's got plenty to do. We're going to pop over to the commander's seat as well. And the commander has another 12.7mm M2. And a pretty cool turnout ability. But it is worth noting, when you're turned out, you can look around, but you can't actually turn the gun. The main gun doesn't turn when you're on this turnout ability. You can get it to fire, so if I put it to manual fire mode, I can fire it, but I can't turn it. And then finally, there's the loader's seat as well, which also gets a nice gun. So you get a 7.62 M240 again, and this one is different. So I don't think you can actually fire this internally. You actually have to turn out, and then you finally get the ability to fire it. So yeah, so an impressive array of firepower on these tanks. You know, there's 4 different machine guns plus the main cannon, plus a whole ton of armor on it as well. So real beasts. Like I say, I'd love to see one of these in battle somewhere, sort of holding some high ground or something. Yeah, very cool. I might just turn that off. There we go. So let's pop and have a very quick look at the weapons, because this is possibly where we're going to have some sort of issues. Let's start off with this this RPG style weapon, and if I fire it, apart from the ringing ears, I didn't actually get it that time. I might have fired one of these earlier, but I was getting a script error with this as well. It's something to do with the sound mod. I mean, pretty much all the guns I've found in the Escalation work absolutely fine. I think the RPG is the only one that I found that didn't actually work. So if I look in this, we've got the AKs. These are cool, these AKs. I know we were looking at other packs for AKs, but actually these Russian weapons, I think there's probably enough in here. Keep us busy. Let's take an AK-74 and some rounds for it. Yeah. That's nice. Very nice. And there's all sorts of weapons here to play around with. So let's take the PKP, light machine gun. Grab some rounds for it. It's a 7.62s. Let's take a belt of those. Yeah, it's nice. Nice sound. Meaty style gun. And all the animations work. They look really good for the reloads. And I don't have another box on me, so that is probably why I can't reload. Bit of lag. Playing on my computer. My laptop, which never helps. Let's grab another box. Yeah, that's pretty cool. have a quick look at the arsenal of some of these weapons we've got in here as well. So the rifles, the AK-74s, the PKP, and also some new launches as well. So we've got the RPGs, and you know, it's a fairly standard RPG. Let's see if this one works. No rounds. Oh well. And this is the Bluefall one. So you know, again, loads of different weapons to have a go at. It's the M16s, M4, M4A1s, as well as some new SMG style things as well. And these M2010s, these very long range kind of snipers rifles. They kind of look the business. Very nice. And then several different launches as well. So we've got the Javelin, which is pretty cool. And I could have done with a backpack. Let's grab a backpack actually. Let's have that one. Let's put a Javelin or two on there. Let's have a go with the Javelin. It's an odd gun, this one. Okay, so the Javelin missile. Reload. That was first. That looks so cool. So very, very cool. I love the way the missile comes out and then ignites. Yeah, very nice. Nice design. It's well put together. Let's just drop that for the time being. So there's lots of different guns to play with. Having a look at our current guns, let's have a look at this one, the M32. Let's grab some grenades for it as well. Now, the sound seems to work fine, or the sound when it lands. That bit works fine, right? That still sounds cool. The actual firing sounds a little suspect to me. Sounds like you've got the launcher sound there, but also a gun firing behind it. I'm not sure if that's intended or if that's something the sound mod is doing. For me, it doesn't quite sound right. So it's possible that JRS, the Dragonfire mod, is struggling a little bit with these, you know, third-party modded guns. I'm not quite sure how much we use this grenade launcher anyway. And the other ones, these HLCs. Let's open this up. These are like the AR-15, the MaxxPros. This is stuff that that Vegas use. I think it's only Vegas that use this at the moment. But if I grab one of these, and let's grab some, what's 5.56? Put those in. So firing the gun, absolutely fine. No problem there. Lots of echo. Seems pretty nice. However, there is an issue with these guns again. That's the wrong box. It's basically once there's a suppressor on it. So now I've got a suppressed rifle. Script error. And this is to do with the Dragonfire mod, and I think it's because the suppressor for this 5.56 suppressor changes the sound in the back end, and I don't think Dragonfire recognises the sound and knows what to do with it, so it throws a wobbly. And while other scripts, like the one in the car, I don't think it'll be too much of a problem, this, obviously you get a script error every single time a bullet fires, so this one may be a little bit more of a problem. I know we were looking at some of the other HLC packs, so I don't know if this is something that was going to be corrected by Dragonfire or HLC, or what's going to go on with these. I mean, there are other options in the arsenal. You do get a lot of new weapons, so it's possible we can switch to, I don't know, something else. Because some of these weapons, I mean, these are pretty cool. I like these. Sounds nice. So yeah, something to be considered. I think something we need to look at that, just to work out something to yeah, have some think about. I think it's definitely an error that's being caused though. So we'll move on, and I know is some debate about whether infantry fighting vehicles are a good thing or a bad thing. Personally, I think used in the right situation, they're actually a good thing. I don't think you need to have many of them, especially if we were being like a mechanized with some APCs. Having maybe support in one of these would be pretty cool. I mean, I would personally love to see one of these rolling around with us as some sort of heavier support if we're doing some sort of mechanized thing. And again, the models, they just look so nice, so cool. So this is the M2A20DS version in the I think these are all in the woodland camo again. Then we've got the M2A2, this is the Busk 1 version, M2A3, Busk 1, M2A3, and this is the Busk 3, M2A3 version. And I really like these vehicles. I really like the modelling as well. I mean, the detail, the time people have put into this. Got the aircon working correctly. It's pretty cool. There's also, there's a bit of space in the back as well. Obviously. So I think there's probably space for 6 in here. It's kind of cool. And then the gunner, who has several different options. So you got the 25mm. .62, and you've got the missiles as well, the tow missiles. So yeah, I know there's debate on these. Personally, I'd still like to see these. I think they can be employed. They don't need to be in an open area where they're gonna get 90 plus kills. I think if they're just there for a bit of extra suppression and firepower against some sort of well dug in infantry, that'd be pretty cool. Or fighting along with them, in the towns and things like that, also be pretty cool. Time's moving on, so I'm just gonna have a quick look at these other two. First off, I think we'll go all the way up the end. Have a quick look at these. So these are the 3 Commando BAF vehicles. Again, modelling, very nice. People have spent a lot of time modelling these. They look the part. I think the first thing to note with these, and I think, I'm not sure if it's an issue as such, but there's not a lot of space in them, so I think they can only take 5. And while you can, fire from vehicles, and actually you get a really nice field of view, so if there's only one person in the back, you can actually fire out the left or the right hand side. But they won't take a full fire team, which is a bit of a shame. So I think this would be limited to a more special forces kind of role. The gunner has a 12.7mm with optics. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. I do like the sound of the weapon, very nice. There's a commander seat here, which also has access to another M240. Although I'm not so keen on the animation on this one. It looks like the belt-driven bullets don't move or get stuck. And I know they are counting down, but I think it's the only gun that I've seen that does that. So yes, these are the Jackal 2. This is the L2A1 version of the Jackal 2. Again, it's a nice vehicle. I'm not sure if it's something would be too eager to use because it's only for special forces. I would have thought although you know, Special Forces, they have so much vehicles with the other packs. I know it's not a big pack. This, I think it's something like 57 meg for these vehicles, but you know, it's something to consider. I guess the vehicles themselves work okay. So it just depends on if we want to utilise them or not, or if we just want to stick with other vehicles. Sorry about that little interlude there. So yes, these are the Jackal 2s. That's the L2A1 and the GMG version. Like I say, I'm not 100% convinced about these. It's a shame you can't fit 6 in them. Possibly we can just use them for Special Forces, but you know, it's another 50 odd megs worth of downloads. And one other thing I don't particularly like with these is if we have a look at the animations, you don't actually hold the gun. You fire the gun, but the driver doesn't actually hold the gun, which is telekinetic gun. It's pretty cool, but I don't like it. So yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe limited use. So we'll come on to the last ones. These are the Navistar MaxxPros. This one is the M2 version, and you know, they look so nice. In fact, out of all the models, these are definitely the sexiest. Someone spent, you know, I have no idea how much time putting these together with the attention to detail. It's not just the modelling either, it's the textures. You know, someone spent a lot of time with the textures, making them look really nice, and they do look a lot like the real things. A lot of cool stuff on them. So yeah, so these are the this is the M2 version with the top-mounted machine gun. This is the Mark 19 with the GMG. And this one is the dash deploy. I think this one's probably my favourite version, with the pin back aerials and the barbed wire on the front. Pretty cool, and the little camo netting thing over the top. I really like that one. It's very cool. This one is the DMX version, which looks like some sort of kind of raised version with the blue springs, a little bit bigger maybe. Yep. And the last one is the Plus, the M2 Plus version. And you know, I really love these models. They are good. They have got, you know, a couple of issues with them, I would say. Let's pop into this one. For the driver, you know, the internal models, they're all fine. Dials seem to work and things like that. And there's plenty of space in the back as well, space for 6 in there, plus you've got a top gunner, a driver and a passenger, front passenger here, so you know, you can easily roll with a full fire team with plenty of space, or even an oversized fire team without any problems. You know, I can imagine rolling around in one of these. They're very cool things. The gunner, this one again, he's got the M2. Sounds kind of cool. Do you like the sound of that? No problems there. So open the rear door. Again, rear door, it's very nice. I love things that move. So this is pretty cool, and you can sort of see in and all the internals. However, I do expect to be able to get in them, which is a shame, because you know, you try and you kind of get bugged in, and there's obviously a collision mesh there as well, because you can't shoot inside them. Yeah, it kind of stops in thin air, which is a little bit of a shame. Yeah, and then this last one down the end, I don't know if you're supposed to be able to get into these or not. I'm not sure, but this Plus version, this one you actually can get into. Should be an open door. Yep, option. I kind of run up here, it's a little bit buggy. I'm not going to get in, and we're going to have to step over, then crouch. So it's a touch buggy to get in, but it is cool that you can get in. You can close the rear door as well, so you can actually kind of seal yourself in. It's very nice, very cool. Open the rear door. It does have the same issue with the collision mesh on the back door. Can't actually fire out of it, and when I'm out of it, I can't fire in it. Which is, again, it's just, you know, it's a touch of a shame, but you know, it's a new mod. I know the guys that are doing this are saying that they're going to release you know, some new models some logistics-based stuff as well, which would be pretty cool. I don't know if they're going to do extra camo or make them so you can get in the back of all of them. I have no idea. I think one other thing that needs testing is these backs here as well. Now you do get a sound like it's hitting something, but you don't get the sparks. So I'm wondering if there's actually a collision mesh up there at all, or where the bullets are just passing all the way through. Just another, little something that needs testing. I'll get around to doing that at some point as well. All in all, I do like the models. They are nice. Do they do anything that the Escalation pack doesn't do? Well, probably not. There's a little bit more space in these. These are a little bit more sort of fire team orientated. I guess one of the fire teams could take these and roll around with it, whereas APC is a little bit more serious. I can't see they fill any great role, but I do like them. I think the models look excellent, and I know they're going to be limited to desert operations, but they are pretty cool. Whether it's worth the extra 113 megs worth of download, I don't know. It's something for the community to discuss, I guess. I mean, if I was going to take one of the two packs here, it will certainly be the MaxxPros, because I think they're superior vehicles. That's not to say that the other ones aren't cool. I just don't think they'll fit in with RG and what we sort of want to do on our operations. So I've had a lot of fun testing. Escalation stuff is very cool. Obviously, it is a massive pack, so it is a big decision. We're going to have to make some tough decisions about our mod pack and what we do, because we can't have it sort of spiraling out of control on the size. But I will be doing some testing on the Russian stuff. There's some planes and some helicopters that are in the Escalation pack as well, so I'll be doing some testing on that. So that's it. See you next time.